Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're covering Live Letter 24, which is covering patch 3.3 Revenge of the Horde. It's with the reference to the Dravanian Horde. Now with this patch, in the Live Letter they went straight to it and said there will be new story quests as well as side story quests, and they will be adding Moogle Beast Tribe, which will have new flying mounts and will involve dragons and Moogles in some way. Now, what they were talking about is that in Heavensward, Moogles kind of got a negative reputation, and they wanted to kind of redeem that kind of relationship with us and the Moogles. There's a screenshot right there, so that's gonna be fun, I guess. Something to look forward to. Alrighty, so moving on to the next thing on the live letter will be the side story quest, which is the anima weapons. Now, the next phase is said to be about modifying stats, kind of like in the last relic, but in this time it won't use Alexandrites, but it will use materia. Now, from the translations I found online, they were talking about bonus parameters. So you will meld the materia in, and you'll get like a point or two bonus of some sort to affect the next meld or something like that. But they did say that adding materia will not fail. It'll just create a bonus or no bonus kind of situation. So that's gonna be interesting. And on top of that, there will be multiple ways to progress on that quest. So maybe materia is something to look forward to right now. Gonna build that up to get ahead of the game in the next phase of the relics. That'd be cool. Cool. So the next thing we got were a sneak peek at the new dungeons. The first one being Sword Kai, which will be part of the main story, and the second being Hullbreaker Island Hard Mode. Not much about these in detail yet, but I'm sure they'll be a lot of fun. And, just cool to try them out, I guess. Alright, so after this, they really moved on straight into the new trials. Let's see, the trials. So they're hiding the name for the trials for now, which the clip will pop up here in a second. Everyone so far thinks it'll be Nidhogg, but I'm hoping they do something way different. Just don't let us predict it, you know, keep ahead of the game. There will be a normal and extreme versions of it, obviously. Again, not a lot of detail on this either, just kind of hinting at things. Alright, so the next thing they talked about was a new raid, which is called the Weeping City of Mach, or Mach, not sure yet. It was destroyed during the 5th Umbral era. It looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is part of Void Arc or not, but I'm very excited for this. This looks awesome. Yep, so that's pretty much all they did about the new raid. Besides, looks cool. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with it as well. Alright, so moving on. Alright, so the next thing they talked about was the Acropolis, which is a treasure hunter dungeon. So occasionally when we do the Dragonskin maps, an opening for an instance dungeon will appear, which is basically what the Acropolis is. Now up to 8 people can come in with you, and it does have a 20% chance of spawning. So it's pretty good considering the RNG in some of these maps. You defeat the enemies to get items. A lot of the new recipe materials are going to be there. I'm sure we'll get better gear there, kind of like Diadem. I'm not sure this is going to try a Diadem of some sort. But essentially, it's a giant treasure room, which is filled with treasure. And I'm sure they kind of emphasize this, that it's going to have a lot of, it's going to be RNG based, so you can't just go in and do it over and over again. And I'm sure they're going to keep adding extra rooms and so forth, so on, to make it more interesting Now, my thought on this is that all the new recipe items for the new gear are gonna come from there. So start gathering those dragon skin maps. That way you can just get in there, grab some of those new mats, and make some gil. That's pretty much all I got from the Acropolis. It's a great concept, and hopefully it works out. Now we did get some screenshots of it. It looks kind of like an Aladdin, like just a lot of loot everywhere. I really like the look of it, and yeah, I can't really say much about it, but hopefully it's balanced out and hopefully it's a lot of fun. Alrighty, the next thing they talked about was the Deep Dungeon, which is something I've really wanted them to add since the beginning of the game. So it's basically kind of like an never-ending dungeon. So it has a lot of floors, and the deeper you go, the weirder things get, the atmosphere changes, and of course the monsters get stronger. Now, they did say that this was going to be put in about 3.35, which I'm hoping stays at that kind of deadline, because I really want to try this out. Now, one of the things that they did add was that your level does go back to 1, so it's a different leveling system from the one you're in outside of the instance. Weapons and armor also levels up with you in the Deep Dungeon, which would be kind of cool. They will talk about a ranking system or a score system they will implement later on for it. It's one of the coolest things in the whole live letter, in my opinion, and I hope they really just go all out on this. Now, the next thing they did was talk about PvP. They're adding a new Frontlines map. I believe it's called the Field of Glory. And I'm not a big PvPer, but I've heard Frontlines doing really well, so hopefully the map satisfies all you PvPers, and everything's just great about it. Here's some screenshots they showed on there. It kind of looks like Cortez style kind of map. So, yeah. Alrighty. So they did talk about housing a little bit, how they're going to add new plots, and they're going to adjust the price of land, which is very cool for all these guys that can't afford the 80 million it costs for a mansion. I can't afford it either. Well, yeah, they're gonna add some flower pots, vases, kind of thing for gardening. Just minor things, but those minor tweaks will really help a lot of people out, which I'm really happy about. Now, one of the main points I want to talk about was new gathering gear and crafting gear. Goodness. So I'm really worried about that, because since we have like all the blue crafted gear, that is insanely hard to craft and to get and to, all that is a real big pain. I'm really hoping this new gear is 4-star, maybe 5-star if that's a thing, 5-star, because putting that much effort and all of that skill into the blue crafted gear for crafters, and then just kind of like saying we have new crafted gear, is kind of just like a slap in the face to me. I hope they do figure out a way to make sure they kind of make it hard, I guess. I hope they kind of make it like the artisan gear and the forager gear from A Realm Reborn, which was one of the hardest. Well, it was the end game crafter gatherer gear, but it was really hard to get and really hard to craft. But once you got it, like, you were best in slot, there was nothing else after that. So I'm hoping they do something like that. I hope they don't just kind of toss all this blue gear away instead of making it easier to get the blue gear and then, having the chance to get this new gear. I did hear rumor that it was going to be the last crafted gatherer gear for the cycle till 4.0. So we'll see about that. I'm really worried about it, but I'm sure they know what they're doing, and I guess we'll find out when it comes out. Yeah, that's all I got for the crafted gatherer gear. For anything else, here they recommended gear feature. That's gonna be cool. Just to let you know what you should have on. That feature to save your HUD layouts. That's gonna be a lot of time saving. And then the raid finder coming. The raid finder is coming in 3.3 for cross-server platform. That's gonna be very fun for a lot of those raiders that need people. Some servers aren't as populated with raiders as other ones, so that's gonna be a lot of help for all you raiders out there. Alright, so they're gonna have the Yokai Watch collaboration, which apparently is very popular in Japan right now, and we will have 13 minions, which are right there. They all look adorable. I'm sure I'm gonna get them all. They're also gonna have weapons that have the same characters on them. For example, the Cane of the Shrine Guardians for White Mage, Paw of the Crimson Cat for Warrior, that kind of deal. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great event. That dog's just hilarious, that kind of deal. I'm very excited about it. Here's all of the minions we can get, and they will be transferred into weapons, like I said before. So it's something to really look at. It'll be a big collaboration between the two. So I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a lot more new players coming by because of this. And why not? It's a great thing to have, But that's basically the whole live letter. I'm sure there's I didn't cover everything about it, but I did get all the main points that I wanted to cover with you guys. The next installment is gonna be, I'm seeing my notes real quick. So the part 2 of this live letter is gonna be May 22nd. Let's look forward to that, just like Yoshi P says, and hopefully it shows some new stuff. Well, that's it for me, guys, and hopefully this kind of condensed down the letter for you guys. Until next time.